Hello, good evening. Welcome to Friday. So this is Psychic Today. My name's Heather and I am your host now until the end of the live shows today, which is going to be 11 p.m. this evening. I do want to give a big shout out to the lovely Psychic Ellen. I believe there were some technical issues there and she wasn't visible the whole time, but you know, we love you, Ellen. It's so nice to see you. Now, let me just run through the T's and C's and then we'll have a look at the psychics, see who's available just now. Friday evening, it is busy. It's going to be busy. It's going to get busier. It's that time of night now. So if you see the psychic you want to speak to, grab them quickly. So T's and C's, you've got to be 18 years or older and have the bill payer's permission if you're going to interact with us by calling or texting in. The other thing is that we're not allowed to talk about anything legal, health, financial or pregnancy, but there are lots of other things that we can talk about with you. Love, relationships, career, house moves. We can do psychic development, we can do dream interpretation. Some of us here are Reiki practitioners and we can do a little bit of Reiki with you, give you a nice bit of relaxation, clear out your energy, have a look at where there might be any blockages and help ease them. You know, there's lots of things that we can do. Pick our brains as well. Do feel free to use our experience and our knowledge and our wisdoms there to answer any questions that you might have. So let's have a look at who's joining me on the phone lines. I can see Joe there on pin number 4029. We've got John there, lovely John Healy on pin number 4718. I'm just going to check if he's the featured psychic today. There it is. Yes, he is today's featured psychic. So that means he's going to be around on the phone lines here until 10 p.m. Do feel free to give him a call right now. He gets very, very popular, so we don't get to say when he is available very often. We've also got Polly free right now on pin number 4816. We've got Zodiac there on 7067. Crystal Waters is free on 4767. We've got Peony there on 6124. We've got Sophia Angelini on 6921, and we have Jeannie as well on 7332, all ready to take a call right now. The number to call is 0907 005 2222. It's £1.50 per minute, and there's the number right there. And the calls to that number are capped at 20 minutes. Now, you don't have to have the whole 20 minutes, obviously. Sometimes you might just have a quick question or two. Let us know when you call through how much time you do have. So we can work as quickly as we possibly can to get you that insight or guidance that you're after this evening. So, let's have a look at some text messages. You can, of course, text into the show using the number 87777. That's 87777. It's £1.50 per message when you use that number. If you text in via the Psychic Today app, it is just £1 per message. Okay, so I'm good. Oh, there was some, I was just going to say, some messages here that Ellen didn't get to do because of the technical difficulties there. So what I will do is I will jump on in and I will have a look at those messages for you. So first up, we have Fitness Girl there. Hello, good evening, darling. Can I please have a general autumn reading? Anything exciting? Show Fitness Girl. Let's see what we have here. Well, while I was shuffling there, the Six of Cups fell out and it was very prominent. It was really very much there. That energy, there's no denying it. That is a return from the past or a return to the past. And now that could apply to you. It could have just popped out there because I was kind of looking at the whole list of text messages there. So it could be a general energy that many people will be experiencing over the next couple of weeks here. So Let's concentrate on you, sweetheart, and see what we have coming out. Straight away, I'm seeing a lot of sword energy. Now, sword energy is air energy. It's truthful. It's just. It's about putting things right, putting things into balance. We're starting off with the Four of Swords. So this is all about taking a break. I never like to say give up on something, because if something's meant for you, it will come back around. If something's not really meant for you, then you sort of get bored with it, and that energy that you're applying to it should fizzle out. Sometimes what happens though is people get very attached to an outcome, and it's the outcome they're attached to rather than the process, rather than the joy of doing something. So this one right here is just letting you know, like, make sure you are taking a break, make sure you are having a rest. Sometimes it's not right now. So if there's something you're trying to make happen, they say maybe just give it a minute, like walk away from it, put it down. Let's see if it resolves itself. Let's see if it sorts itself out, and we'll come back to it later. This is very much the energy of like break and rest and all that good stuff. It does make sense. We are in Hermit energy right now. We are in Virgo season, and that's very often the time for inner reflection and, contemplation and figuring out what your next move is. So sometimes we do have to kind of halt what we're doing or stop what we're doing so we can refocus our energies. Now, next up, we do have the Empress for you, which is lovely. This is a very strong energy. The Empress is that divine female energy, or that divine feminine energy. So you're going to be really embracing your worth, your strength, your power, everything that makes you you. You're coming to accept that, flaws and all, and you're loving it. You're absolutely loving yourself with this energy. So the Empress is something that's really quite a powerful card, and it's really nice when this one comes out for you, especially if you're kind of looking for what's going on, what's coming towards you, because the Empress, she knows her value, she knows her worth. She stops and she waits for things to come towards her. So this kind of makes sense here, because we do have that Four of Swords and then the Empress. So it's pretty much saying, stop chasing after things. Don't chase anymore. You've done plenty of work. It's now time to take a sort of a step backwards a little bit and allow things to start to come towards you. You can see here, if we look moving forward, we've got the Two of Swords and the Eight of Swords. Now these two are going to suggest here there's a big choice coming your way, big decision for you to make. Let's have a look at the options here with that Two of Swords. Oh my gosh, why does that come out like that? Oh, I felt like I was trying to say something, something else. Sometimes my guides do kind of step in and take over a little bit, and I come out with words I didn't actually have in my brain that I was going to say. So on one side here, it's about preparing. It's about being prepared for something. You're ready to face any challenge that comes your way. And then on the other side is an opportunity. So I feel like it's a stay or go. So we have an opportunity, a new one coming your way. Could be work related. Versus, do I kind of hang fire here? Am I going to just, because I feel there's frustrations building up around where you are currently. And so you may be tempted to kind of look elsewhere. Look around, see what other opportunities are out there for you. With the Eight of Swords here, you can see you're starting to get a little bit overwhelmed. Try and keep on your path. It's very easily it's very easy to get led off your pathway, because we start to see other people doing things and we think, I should be doing that. I like they've got that opportunity, and why don't I get the opportunity? So we're very easily led off our pathway if we start to pay attention to the world around us, or look at what everyone else is doing. But the reality is, we don't know how long that person was waiting, how much hard work that person put in, and how much they gave up in order to have something. And it's all about the journey, remember, not necessarily the destination. So try and kind of keep I would say keep clear of what other people are up to. Know that your stuff is your stuff, your life pathway is your life pathway. The confusion here, that will settle down. That will settle down. So I can see here as we go through the months, or as we go through the season, you will start to feel drawn towards doing something else, but you may feel with that it might be the wrong time to make a move or make a switch. So I'm just going to put that out there for you. I'm going to leave that there, Fitness Girl. Thank you so much for texting in, and lots of love and light to you there. Next up then we have H. Hi there, H. General love reading please for S and me. How's he feeling and what's next for us? Will he ever put a ring on it? Let's ask that question. Oh my gosh. Right, I'm just gonna, yeah, let's just switch the deck up a minute. Here we go. Here we go. I feel like because I've been working a few days in a row, sometimes the cards can take it. Sometimes they you know, they have plenty of time to recharge and all the rest in between. But sometimes we need to just give them a little bit of a break. So that's what we're doing there with that deck. So we've switched it up now. We've got the Secrets of the Tarot deck that we're working with. I would say it's probably one of my newest decks. This is making me laugh now because it's the same card that just came out, and I thought, no, that can't be right. This deck's obviously tired and it needs it needs a recharge. But I've just swapped the decks around and we've got the same first card out. It's the card of confusion. It's the Eight of Swords. If we're asking about your person here and how they're feeling towards you, yeah, so with that we've got confusion. We've got don't really know what to do, don't know what direction to head in. So there is a little bit of confusion there. We've also got the Ten of Cups. Now the Ten of Cups is actually a really perfect card, you know, when you have everything just how you want it. There could be that there's a sense with S at the moment that perhaps they just don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to mess things up. They want to kind of keep things as they are right now because they're thinking, you know what, things are pretty good right now. There's no need to be making changes, you know, and that could be where this confusion is coming about. It's like, if I do make a change, is it going to make it better, or will things start to sour? Because Ten of Cups is a happy card. So they're very kind of full of contentment. They're very happy. You know, they like how things are at the moment. We do have the Chariot here. Now the Chariot is about overcoming obstacles. It could well be that we're looking at the timing on this. This would be the Sagittarius season. So we're looking at the end of the year. We're looking at the sort of December, I think it's the end of November into December with that one. So yeah, they're giving you quite a clear time here. So I would say with this one, by the end of this year, you will have your answer. You will know for sure by the end of the year. Perhaps, you know, maybe it's by Christmas, but certainly by the end of the year, I think you will have some answers. Yeah, we do have, I just wanted them to clarify again, we do have the Judgment. So the Judgment is sort of coming in with this very make or break type energy. So this is one of those situations that, you know, you may find it could create a big problem, you know, down the road. So at the moment, everything looks really good. It looks really nice. It feels nice. There's a nice energy here. But yeah, you can feel the sort of the tension creeping in, and I think it's all to do with the ring situation, isn't it? So just kind of hang on in there. You don't have long to wait. I feel like that will come around very quickly. That Christmas timing. So I'm going to just leave that there with you, my darling. Thank you so much for texting in there today. Next up then we have Mr. R. Let's have a look. So, how did Mr. P feel when he collected stuff from my workplace today? We chatted a bit, but still awkward and quite. Will things get better? Oh, will things get better? Okay, let's have a look at that. We'll just ask the question. No, they want me to stop there. Right. Wow. Fantastic. So the first thing we have out here is improvements. We have the Six of Pentacles, which is, especially if we're talking about work related situations. Went a bit glitchy there. If we're talking about work sort of situations, this is perfect. This is the card you want to see. It definitely is pointing to things getting better, situations improving. So that's really nice. We then, just to sort of confirm that, we do have the Star card. Now, the Star is about new beginnings. So it could well be that it takes a big change in order to have this hopeful new beginning come along. So basically, if you want to have the new start, something old has to be kind of dealt with, or put to rest, put to one side, all the rest. So we do have optimism. We've got hope for the future. We've got another work card here, Seven of Pentacles. Now, this one, it is frustration. It does have a sense here that maybe things aren't going as quickly as you would like them to, like the improvements maybe aren't as fast as you would like them to be, or they just doesn't sit right with you. It takes some time here for you to really relax and feel like everything is going as it should be. So it's one of those times, or one of those situations where it may take longer than you're expecting. I don't think it's going to be a quick, everything's okay now. We do have the Queen of Cups here. So yeah, this is sort of a patient, nurturing type energy coming in around. So you do have to kind of, I would say you do have to be as understanding as you possibly can, not just to other people and to the situation, but to yourself as well. And realize sometimes, I did hear something about this last night, the ability to acknowledge your emotions and deal with them as they come up is a sign of maturity. It's a sign that you are very much in touch, in tune with yourself. You're very connected. You've got a lot of well-being. I think that's kind of what they were kind of pointing at, was that when you are experiencing an emotion, not only can you identify the emotion, but you can point out why you feel that way, what's created it, how that's come about, what's caused it. If you can do those things, then it means you've got this strength, you've got this amazing ability that not everyone does have. So this is why very often we do need to be patient with ourselves. We've got to be patient with other people, because there could be things going on there that you're not aware of. The things that you're thinking and the way that you're feeling. It takes some addressing, and this is really where the shadow work starts to come in. People talk about working on their shadow selves all the time, but I think there's different layers to it, as always. But ultimately what you want to do is get to the point where you're not hiding from your shadow self, and you're very accepting of your shadow self. So we'll just kind of leave that there. I will say lots of love and light to you, my darling. Thank you so much for texting in this evening. Where are we? So just checking to see where we are. I can see Luna Rose has logged in. Luna looks like a new psychic to the team. But yes, she is. She is a new reader. She works with tarot. Her PIN number is 7403. She's empathic. She does read oracle cards as well. to sort of give extra information. I always say this with tools. Tools I think are very useful when we're working on the phone lines like this, because you're sort of going from one person to the next person to the next person to the next person. So you need a way to disconnect quickly and connect with the next person. So tools are a very useful way of doing that. And so, sometimes the type of tools that you work with may change from caller to caller, because the energy will be different. How you connect to that person, their energy, your energy, these are all things that we need to take into consideration. And when we're working quickly like this, we should be getting that information come through. How we're going to do the reading, what tools are we going to go for? Do we need tools? Sometimes we don't need the tools. Sometimes people prefer the tools. Sometimes people don't like the tools. Unfortunately, as accommodating as we try to be, sometimes our guides will say, no, we have to do it this way. This is the way that we need to get this information, or this is how we work with this. So it's very unique to the situation. So I can see John Healy has just become available. His PIN number right now is 4718. I say right now, it's always 4718. It doesn't change. He is free right now. He's just come off a call. So if you've been waiting to speak to him, the number to call is 0907 005 2222. It's £1.50 per minute. And calls are capped at 20 minutes. Just remember, you do have to be over 18, and you've got to have the bill payer's permission if you're not the bill payer. There was something else I was going to tell you then. Oh yes, you can pre-purchase your minutes using a debit or credit card as well. I always forget that one. So if you're an app user, you will know you can kind of, do that yourself on the app. If you're not an app user, that's fine. You still have the option available. You can call through and speak to our reception team on 0808 206 1001. That is a free phone number, by the way. So you won't be charged anything for the call. So next up then we have A. Hi there, A. Good evening. Could I have a reading for September, please? Anything coming up around love or work? Love and light, A. Let's see what we have here for you. Oh gosh, right, straight away I can feel a little bit of a blockage in the throat. I say a blockage, but I feel like often it's when we get the sensation there, when I get the sensation there, sometimes it's because someone isn't being honest. They might not be being straightforward with you. They have something that they want to tell you or express to you. It could well be that you need to work on being on the way that you communicate, because sometimes in our minds, the way that we think we come across, we might come across completely different. So we might think, oh, I said that in such a nice way, I'm so polite. But the other person may be thinking, gosh, they're very sarcastic, aren't they? Sometimes we don't realize how we sound, or we don't realize how we're actually coming across. And as I've said that there, I can feel that shifted. So that's something that they want you to kind of be aware of and just kind of maybe pay attention to. So we have the Eight of Cups here. Now the Eight of Cups is walking away from something. Now this will be walking away from people or situations that are not serving you. They're not bringing you anything. They're kind of taking and taking and taking from you. So this could well be to do with work, or it could well be to do with love and relationships. But it's a little note here to say, it's okay. It's okay to leave things behind, or to move on from things, move on emotionally. You can see here as well, there's Six of Wands for you. Now this is good news coming your way. It's often a reason to celebrate. It's a victory, it's a win. So this is going to put a smile on your face. It's going to give you a reason to kind of enjoy the day. Next up then we do have the Five of Pentacles. Now this could be I want to say this could be why you're feeling sort of in a winning mood or a good energy. The Five of Pentacles is somebody who wants to come back in. They want to come back towards you. They want to speak to you. They want to come in from being out in the cold. So this usually implies someone that maybe you don't want to deal with anymore. I kind of get the impression here with this particular person, you're sort of unaffected by it. You know, they may want to try and reach out here to you, but I don't think you're going to be too interested in having them come rushing back in, you know. They want me to just look at the bottom here. Yeah, Queen of Cups energy. Queen of Cups. Now, I feel like very often this is how you come across the people, and what this does, like especially it could be in relationships, it could be in work, but what this does is it makes you somebody who people can take advantage of. You know, they think, oh, that's okay, they'll do this, oh, that's all right, we can rely on them for this. So it makes you this person that, yes, you are reliable and you are somebody that is sort of invaluable. However, you're not getting anything back. You're always giving, 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 and you're not really receiving anything equal measure back, whether it be work, family, commitments, relationships. They're just kind of saying here, just be mindful how much you're putting out there. Could well be why we have that around communication. Be aware of how you're coming across, because sometimes you might be thinking to yourself, oh, I told them I'm not doing this anymore, or I said I could do it if, but that's not what they're hearing. They're hearing something different. So that's why they're just kind of putting that there for you. Oh gosh, you've got the Judgment as well. So the Judgment is a karmic energy. It is Libra energy, so it's not surprising that that would come out, because Libra season will be coming along pretty soon. What we have here is the understanding that whatever is decided, whatever pathway that you choose to take or is opening up for you, is the only option available right now. It's the right choice for right this moment. So it's a good idea, like pretty much there's no other way around it. This is the route to take. This is the pathway. So any opportunities that you're waiting for, or things that are coming your way, if they don't really pan out, the universe is just saying, hey, do you know what, it's okay, because we have other things coming along for you, you know, with this, you know, these situations here. And I feel more so around work than anything else, is that they're drawing your attention towards work at the moment. So if things don't go how you might like them to go, or how you might be expecting them to go, don't put too much energy into it. Don't put too much focus or worry about it too much. Try and let it go as much as possible. Shake that energy off. There's no need to carry it around with you, because I feel like things will be different, you know, maybe in 6 months' time, maybe even less than that. I feel like you definitely have a new pathway opening up for you, and you're sort of starting that journey now. So over the next couple of months here, you'll get more details about it. You'll get more information about what that is going to be looking like. So I will leave that with you, my darling. Thank you so much for texting in this evening, and lots of love and light to you. Okie dokie, we'll be back in a bit. Hello, welcome back there. I'll just sort of reset the system a minute. So, here we go. Just after 9 o'clock, let's give you a little rundown who is available just now. I can see Psychic Helen has joined the team. Wonderful. Good evening, my darling. We've got Joe there. We've got Polly, Zodiac, Sharon S. It's all just swapped around again. Right, here we go. So we've got Peony, Julie, Gemma, Luna Rose, Rachel, and Nay. So we've got quite a selection of psychics standing by, ready to take your call right now. The number to call through on is 0907 005 2222. It's £1.50 per minute, and the calls are capped at 20 minutes. Just know we can't talk about anything legal, health, financial, or pregnancy, but there's lots of other things that we can talk about. Here we are, John Healy available right now. He is our featured psychic this evening, so he's going to be around just until 10 o'clock this evening, so grab him quick. He has been fairly busy this evening already. Can't speak, but he is now available, and obviously he gets very popular. We've also got the lovely Psychic Ellen standing by as well. Love you, Ellen. It's nice to have you come join us this evening. So if you would like to text into the show with your question, I am here until 11 this evening. The shows on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, they run through till 11 p.m. So you've got time to send your message through, send your text through. You can do that from the app for just £1, or you can do that by texting 87777 for £1.50. So where were we? We have next up J Female. Hi there, my darling. Let's see what we've got. So a love reading, please. Thanks, J Female. Let's see what we've got here. Sorry, I'm just zoning out a little bit. Right, here we go. So, very nice. We do have the Five of Swords here. Now, this is an interesting one. This is about realizing that change is taking place. It is a transformation card, but in this deck, what we've got here is somebody who's sort of picking up the pieces and then about to leave the scene. They're walking away from the drama and conflict that's going on. Gone a bit glitchy again, hasn't it? So this card right here, Five of Swords, this person is walking away from the drama, and they're realizing that actually they're leaving with more than what they thought they had. So the sort of, I wouldn't say the ball is in their court here, but they are choosing their peace of mind, they're choosing growth, they're choosing the higher pathway, all of that stuff. So this is you right now. You don't need the drama. We've got the Ace of Cups for you as well. Now, this is a new love coming your way. It can sometimes be a renewal of love. It really does depend on your current situation. So a renewal of love would be, either someone is about to reappear and they're changed and they're exactly the person you want them to be, or you always wanted them to be, or you might be finding you're getting closer with the person that you're already with. Everything is going quite nicely for the two of you, and it's a very optimistic future. Or this could be somebody completely new, Let's just ask the question. I do kind of feel like this is someone you might be manifesting, though, because we do have the Seven of Cups here as well. The Seven of Cups, it is quite a dreamy, wishful kind of energy, but it's often because you're spending so much time thinking about something, you kind of accidentally make something happen, you manifest things. This is why overthinking can be not so good when you're trying to have positive things, because if you're worrying about stuff too much, what you do is you actually kind of bring that about. You kind of manifest that into reality. And then, all the stuff that goes with it. So what you want to be doing instead, and I always say you can't manifest a person, because we all have free will. we don't know what that person's pathway might be. What we need to manifest or concentrate on is the type of person or the type of relationship that we would like to have. You know, I want someone who's very kind. I want someone who's going to be there for me. I want someone who's going to be respectful to you know, my family or to my parents, or whatever it might be. You know, so we want to kind of have some idea of what it is that we're looking for in a relationship or in a connection. If it comes along, we'll see it straight away. We know, aha, that's exactly what we want. If somebody comes along though and they have none of those qualities, then we can safely say that is not our person. I think very often what people do though is they try and make somebody fit into the mold. This is why I say the person suddenly returns being like behaving the way that we always wanted them to. This is it. We fall in love with the ideas very often of what we want, and we kind of apply it to the person that's in front of us. We can see with you as well, Six of Swords energy. So I think this is somebody new coming along. The Six of Swords is moving on. We're going to something more peaceful, more calm. We're choosing to leave the drama behind, and we're moving onwards. So I think somebody new is coming along. Yeah, new again. We've got the Fool. This is new energy again. It is Aries energy, incidentally. I mean, other signs that we have here, we've got all the water signs, so Pisces, we've got Cancer, we've got Scorpio. We do have some air sign energy here. We've got Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, and then, yeah, we've got Aries right there. I would say, and see, look, more sword energy, so more air sign energy. So I would say here, it might be worth looking at the horoscopes. If you look at the monthly horoscopes, if you look at compatibility wise, I feel like what you may have been doing is kind of thinking, this is the sign that I am most compatible with, and you're kind of trying to kind of push that or make that work. But very often people don't check their compatibility, so we'll just kind of suggest that there to you. So yeah, love readings moving forward. I feel like we know more now about what it is that you do want in a relationship or in a partner, and more what you don't want. So you know, we're moving forward with a positive way, positive energy, positive outlook, but definitely leaving the drama behind. Also, Nigel is available just now. Good evening, Nigel. His PIN number is 7088. So J Female, I'm going to leave that with you, my darling. Thank you so much for texting in, and lots of love and light to you. Next up then we have Cancerian Lady. Oh, hello, good evening, darling. Oh, oh, bless you. She said, hi, Heather, you predicted work changes, and that did unexpectedly happen. Can I have some cards for my autumn season generally? Okay, so let's have a look there. I always think very often, you see, with the cards, when it gives you something you're not expecting, that's what you pay attention to. That's what you look out for, because it's just... Ooh, we'll be back in a bit. Hello and welcome back there. My name's Heather and this is Psychic Today. Oh yes, we were looking at this for Cancerian lady. So you predicted work changes and that did unexpectedly happen. Can I have some cards for my autumn season generally, Cancerian lady? So I was just about to say there before the call came through, was that, yeah, very often when it comes out with something that you're just thinking, nah, that doesn't sound right. These are the things that kind of stick with you a bit more because it seems like it's so, like, that's not going to happen, like that's so out of the ordinary. So it's nice to get that feedback, so thank you very much on that one. But let's see what we have for you in the autumn. They want 4 cards. So we have the sun, so nice and bright and happy, the sun. So enjoy this time at the moment, especially the next few weeks here. It seems like we've got a time coming in where you can have everything peaceful, calm, happy, settled, stable. There's a real sense of stability around this. Now you may well feel like that's not the case, but the cards that we're getting here is to say you can feel like this if you want to. You can see this. You just trust that this is what we've got going on. There is stability, there is security, and sometimes, you know, it requires you to go out of your way to make sure that's happening, and sometimes it requires you to just relax and enjoy. And I feel like this is a relax and enjoy energy. We have the Fool here, so this is something new. We've got some spontaneous energy coming around you, so the Fool's really good, especially when you've got some options opening up or some pathways opening up, because you know you may well have been thinking about something and like wondering, should I do this, should I not do this? And then you can see with that Fool, you're just kind of leaping into the unknown. You're going for it. You're doing the thing you've been thinking about. So quite a feel-good energy, quite an exciting energy as well with that. I can see, I would say it doesn't last. It quickly changes. We've got confusion. Now this could well be that sort of Cancerian self coming on through here. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. We've got with this 8 of Swords, it's confusion. So what you need to remember about this is that if you have been thinking or you've decided upon a course of action, just kind of keep that in mind. That's what I will say. Keep that in mind, because the reason we get into the 8 of Swords energy is because we really just don't know what our options are. We feel like we've run out of options, or we feel like whatever we do, we have no clue. It's just that ability to foresee goes out the window, because we all have the ability to kind of work out what's coming along for us. Our higher selves is always trying to speak to us. We've got our intuition. We also learn by previous circumstances and situations, and you know, we learn by experience as well. So we always have that sense of something, this is what's going to happen. But when we have the 8 of Swords, what this is saying is we're on uncharted territory. We have no idea. We've never been in this type of situation before. And so there's no references for us to go by. And that's why we get really confused. So I would say if there's something, if you're thinking, should I wait or should I do something? I would say just keep in mind, you know what you should do. You have that option there. You have that within you. There's no need to change it, worry about it. Just try and just kind of think, right, okay, we'll be prepared. We're going to go through a little bit of a confusing time. It could be a couple of weeks and I feel like there's a lot of people kind of feeding in, what's the word? Too many cooks spoiling the broth here. That's what I would give with that. So try not to listen too much to what everybody else is speculating and saying, because I feel like that's where the confusion is coming in. So just kind of take it all in your stride. That's what the Sun and the Fool are doing, is they're just going with the flow. They're just kind of going, whatever happens, you know, this is my plan. If that happens, this is my plan. If this happens over here. So you're already working out what you're going to do given each set of circumstances. So there's no point taking action just yet until you know more, until you have more. We also have the Five of Swords here. So this is that transformation energy. These are the changes. And what I think this came out earlier, and what comes out with this is you're walking away with more than what you thought you were going to be. So this person at the front here, they're collecting all of the swords. They're sort of, I would say, damage control, or they're clearing up behind everybody else. And because they're doing that, while everyone else is over here sulking and, they've lost their swords, they've missed out. But you're walking away here with actually all of the good stuff. So whatever that looks like, it could be the opportunities, it could be wisdom, it could be the knowledge, but you're coming out with a good position, a position of strength here. So, this is why you've got the Sun card. Don't worry, it's all working out. And I would say for your highest and greatest good as well. We always have that, don't we? They want me to just look at the bottom. We've got the Three of Wands here. Now, this does imply some sort of travel coming up. Could be that there's an opportunity for you to go traveling, or maybe go on a little break, or maybe for the weekend or something. It's also the card of waiting. Keep your eye on the horizon. So keep your eye on what's coming in, or what might be coming in, but it's always I've got one eye over here and concentrating on the moment as well. So I will just leave that with you. But thank you so much for texting in, my darling, and lots of love and light to you there. I just need to say, John Healy is free, Psychic Helen, Zodiac, Janine, Rachel, Gemma, Emma Rose, Peony, and Rosalie. The number to call is 0907 005 2222. Right, I'm just going to switch this again. Oh, sorry, I just had to have a little bit of the citrine energy there. Citrine energy is wonderful. I've heard this a couple of times, and I don't know how true it is, but somebody said that citrine is amethyst, kind of at a different temperature. Obviously, the formation of rocks and crystals, you got to have the right set of circumstances in order to get that particular rock or that particular crystal. They're all kind of made out of the same stuff, really. So it would make sense that you'd get a different frequency or color crystal depending on the pressure, the temperature, and all the rest. Now, amethyst used to be one of my favorite crystals, but I don't know, I feel like citrine is much more vibrant, it's lively. I love purple though, so yeah, it would make sense kind of switching it around. So I wonder if Ellen would know the answer to that. She is our sort of resident crystal expert. So if you have any questions about crystals, you love crystals, maybe you're looking for some new ones, she's very, very good at, she's like a walking encyclopedia of crystals. So she can tell you what's going to be good for you, what energy, what's going to help balance you right now, why you need the balance, all the rest. So she's very, very knowledgeable as our Ellen. Right, next up then we have Gemini. Hi there, Gemini. Can you look at my relationships? What you pick up, help has kept getting past life, anything you see coming through, anything you see coming in, sorts, Gemini. So let's have a look at that for you. With past life energies, I mean, past life readings is something that I really enjoy doing. And it's always surprising how much your past life self influences your current persona or goals or hopes or aspirations, dreams, likes, dislikes. And the reason being is because that's you, that's still you. You may have had a different name, different face, but it's still you. It's like, when I don't know, maybe you get into a situation with somebody and you don't get the resolution that you were hoping for. You keep replaying it in your mind, hoping that you might get a different outcome. It's the same type of thing when you get a past life self come up. They're replaying and replaying and replaying what you've done previously because they're hoping to get a different outcome. So oftentimes the advice with past life energy is to release it, to let it go, which is absolutely the correct thing, because whatever went on in the past there, you cannot change it. It's already happened, it's done with, and sometimes we just need to find a way to reconcile that with our current self, so that we can let that go then. So it is a bit of a process. It does take work. There are some specialist energy workers that can help with that, and there are some very useful meditations that you can access online. And I would say, usually, if you go on YouTube, for example, there are many different types of meditation, guided meditation, that you can undertake there. Obviously, find the one that works best for you. Sometimes you've got to change it up. Sometimes you might have to listen to it repeatedly while you're working that out, because it's not always the case of it's going to take you half an hour and then job done. Sometimes it can take weeks or months, depending on how embedded that is, or how there's, how much of an attachment there is to that particular situation. So what we have in the cards here is we do have the Chariot, which is moving forward. Is literally forward movement. It's overcoming things, it's getting past something, so we do have some positive movement there for you. So I would say with that one, getting over the past. Sometimes, the hardest thing anybody ever has to do is to get over somebody that they still have an attachment to, that they're still in love with. So very often the healing cannot take place until you've truly accepted that that person is not going to be in your life in the future. Whatever the reason might be, we have to let that person go, and that's a challenging thing to do. It's a difficult thing to do, and it shouldn't be taken lightly. So moving ahead, moving forward, it's a good thing to do that, because when you're holding on to the idea of a person or holding on to something from the past, it stops you from progressing. It stops you from doing what you should be doing in this lifetime. We can see you here. This is going to take hard work and effort. We've got the 8 of Pentacles. Now, this is also a sort of a burning the candle at both ends energy. It's sort of staying up late, working very hard towards doing something. And when I mention burning through energy, and I talk about this all of the time, when you are thinking something and you can't shift that line of thinking, when you are experiencing emotional energy, it's coming from somewhere. It's got to go somewhere. It doesn't just vamoose. It doesn't just disappear. We have to burn that energy through. We have to work our way through it. So this is what this is all about here, is make sure you work your way through that. It takes as long as it takes. Essentially, you will get there eventually. It's a lot like, because you think about this is quite an intense kind of situation. It's not a typical situation, and it's something that's very delicate, and it's not something that can be done in a short amount of time. Make sure that you are being very patient with yourself, and try not to force it, try not to push it. So you've got to be very natural, very organic about it. So if you find yourself thinking a certain way, you will hopefully get to a point where you think, I don't want to be thinking about this anymore. So when you do find yourself, your thoughts wandering a little bit, you do have to be a little bit tough with yourself sometimes and say, no, I've spent too much time thinking about that now, and I want to stop. So you've got to tell yourself off, you've got to be firm, you've got to say, no, I'm not thinking about that anymore, I'm letting it go. So it does require a lot of awareness, toughness. There's a bit of skill involved. You've got to have the kind of mental ability to force yourself into a different line of thinking, and this is where meditation is really important, because it gives you control over your thoughts, and then it also gives you control over your emotional energy as well. So if you feel something, you think, I don't want to be feeling that, you can visualize that feeling and move it on, move it along. So it does require meditation. Not lots and lots, about 20 minutes per day should be enough to give you that control over yourself there. We're about to go to a break, so I will be leaving it there. I will be back from 10:05, taking you through till 11, but the phone lines are still open, so do feel free to call on through. welcome back everybody. This is Psychic Today. My name's Heather and I'm with you now until about 10 to 11, about 11 o'clock. So let's have a quick roundup of the team, see how everyone is getting on this evening. It has been fairly steady. I'm just refresh the screen. Yeah, that looks better. It takes a minute to catch up, and when we were on the break there, the weather was very stormy. I don't know what it's like where you are, but I was like, ooh, it's very glitchy here. Had to reset everything, make sure it's all working. Because it's so stormy, the TV has gone out, the Wi-Fi was getting glitchy and everything. So hopefully you're all set where you are. Anyway, let's check in with the team. So we've got Psychic Helen available right now on pin number 6976. We've got Peony there on 6124. We've got Diana there on 6629. Rachel on 6758. Nay is there on 7307. We've also got Julie, Sharon, Emma Rose, Rosalie and Jeannie. The number to call is 0907 005 2222. There it is. It's £1.50 per minute on that number. The calls do come off of your phone bill, and they are capped at 20 minutes. I think it's just shy of 20 minutes, but you don't have to have the whole 20 minutes if you don't need it. Very often people have, just a few quick questions, maybe just one or two, and we'll work as quickly as we can to get you that information. Just let us know how much time you do have so we can get right to it and give you that insight or guidance that you're after. So just a few T's and C's. You do need to be 18 years or older, and you do have to have the bill payer's permission if you are not the bill payer. We can't talk about anything legal, health, financial or pregnancy, but there's lots of other things that we can talk about. What else was I going to tell you? I feel like there was something else then. Oh yes, if you want to interact with us as well, you can text into the show on 87777 with your question. It's £1.50 when you use the text service to that 87777 number. But if you're an app user and you're texting in from the Psychic Today app, it's only £1 per message. So that's good. It's what do we call it? It's a third off there. So next up, we have Laura. Hello, good evening, darling. May I have a reading Saturday to Thursday? Any news to be revealed or aware of, and in what area, house, job or love? Okay, so Laura, as you probably know, I am not a astrologer. I don't do horoscopes, so we'll circle back to that. So let's see what we've got here for you. What's coming out over that Saturday to Thursday timing for you? Well, I would say we've got, funnily enough, a look at the home. So the Four of Wands, it can be in the love life, but it's sort of talking generally about the stability in your personal life. So whatever that is, if that's the home, if that is the love life, relationships, this is what we're looking at. It's all focusing on stability and security. What makes you feel secure in yourself? What makes you feel good? What gives you that sense of being grounded? That's what we're looking for. So the Four of Wands, it is a card for celebration. It's a reason to celebrate, but yeah, we're really pointing at family and home with this one, I feel, for you. We do have quite a bit on social energy around you. Yeah, I'd say there's not much here on work, but I feel like, we can't overlook the King of Pentacles here. So the King of Pentacles, he is that grounded, stable character. He is someone with a lot of wisdom. Could be an earth sign here that we're talking about. But the King of Pentacles, it often comes out representing somebody in some sort of authority. Could be a manager, could be somebody that you trust, could be, a father figure, but somebody who's very sort of strong, secure, stable. They're very wise. They do like to give advice, and they like to share their wisdom and knowledge with people. I feel like for you though, this person, they sort of come across as being a little bit like a stick in the mud, a little bit stuffy. They always put a downer on everything. But I would say what they're doing is they're trying to be realistic, or they're trying to get you to be realistic, because they feel like what you're saying, what talking about there is too above and beyond, too out there. So they're just trying to bring you into the world that they're living in. Now with that as well, then we do have the Knight of Swords. Now this is literally that knight in shining armor. This could be who you're waiting on, or what you're waiting on. You know, sometimes it is a wish fulfillment. I'm just going to clarify what this is all about, why we have this here. I do keep hearing take action, so I wonder what they're meaning. We've got Leo, and we have the Three of Swords here. So the Sun card and the Three of Swords. That's really interesting, because the Sun is happiness, and then the Three of Swords is it's obviously, it's the heartbreak. We've lost something. It could be the sense that I've lost my happiness, or I've missed my chance, I've missed my opportunity. The Sun card there, we could be talking about, obviously we just had Leo season, so we could be, you know, talking about the time just there. I need you to know, you never miss out on anything. Whatever is meant for you, you always have. You never lose, you never make the wrong choice, you never miss out on anything. So if you feel like maybe I've missed my opportunity, this is my chance for this, you always have what you are supposed to have, and you always put into situations and circumstances that will allow you to get where you need to get in life and be with the people you are meant to be with in this life. If someone is kind of being removed from your pathway, that's okay, let them go. They're not supposed to be there. They're sort of a distraction, a misdirection. They could be, what's that phrase, there for a reason or a season. I do like that phrase. I do like things that rhyme, but it does make sense. So the reason might be, you know, they're there for a short amount of time because you're supposed to have some fun, or you're supposed to learn something from that person. There for a season, again, it's a short amount of time, a season. Sometimes the reason might be that they're there to give you that security and stability for, you know, however long that they are required. There does seem to be a bit of a karmic energy around you. So if you're having a lot of deep thoughts about where things are in your life right now, where they might be headed, what's going on there, you know, I feel like it's understandable, because it is that time of the year now where people do get a little bit introspective and think deeply about what's going on with them. It's a spiritual, the Hermit is actually quite a spiritual energy, because it's about deep reflection and figuring out what's next for you, what's on your pathway. And yeah, we do have the look then towards the home. Now, if you have been connecting with someone that you feel is a twin flame or a soulmate, I feel like that's probably what we're talking about here. The twin flame energy, it is changing. It's changing. Like I think it was last month now, around the last full moon, there were big changes taking place there in twin flame connections. So anyone that was in or has connected with their twin, they would have experienced those changes for sure. You would have encountered a different energy. You would have maybe, especially if you were in separation from your twin, you would have come across you know, certain kind of synchronicities or signs kind of reminding you of your twin, or reminding you that connection exists. But yeah, there's some big shifts taking place there. I feel like it has settled down a little bit, but because there was such a strong movement there a few weeks ago, it put everybody back onto that mindset there. We do have with you, as I said earlier, the social energy. So you could well be getting invited out on dates, or being invited out to go meet with people, spend time with people. I do feel there's a lot of talking here, so you could be connecting with some new people or people you haven't spoken to for a while, but it's a nice feeling energy here. I'd love to see that social energy. Yeah, spiritual connection. This card literally just fell out when I picked the deck up there. The Nine of Swords. This is that restless sleep, because there's a spiritual connection to someone. Why it comes out at night time? Well, it's a simple answer. It's because all of the distractions of daily life are not around you. So you can link up with your higher self, and you can get all of that information unfiltered. And some people find it quite sort of liberating to have that information available, and some people find it just too overwhelming and confusing. And you know, when people say, oh, why don't I know this, why don't I know that, it's because very often if you have all of the answers, it can be a little bit intimidating, overwhelming. It can be very confusing as well, because you're not always certain what order things will come along in. So when you do meet somebody that you do have quite a strong spiritual connection with, what happens is it's like the floodgates open and you get it all come through at once. And yes, it can be a little bit too much, so even for people who are quite experienced at dealing with outside energies, people that are not ourselves, and dealing with spirit and meditating and all that, everyone should know how to meditate. There would be a lot less issues in the world, I think, if people knew how to meditate and they did it regularly and they did it often, because it helps you self-soothe, it helps you self-regulate, it helps you to make sense of what you're dealing with and what's going on in the world around you, why you feel the way that you feel, and all of those things. So if anything, make sure you are meditating. And if you usually meditate in the evening, switch it up. Maybe try and do it a little bit earlier, or start with an early morning meditation. Because I hear people say this all the time. They'll say, oh, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing this, and they'll say, but it's not doing anything, it's not working. What is the definition of madness? It's doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. So if you're doing something continuously, and you have been for several weeks or several months or even years, and you're thinking to yourself, it doesn't do anything, it's because either it's not been done correctly, or because that particular technique is not working, so we've got to try something else. There's different options, there's other ways of doing things. That's a little bit of general advice for anybody that's listening. One of the questions, or one of the situations that people come up with over and over and over again is, I try to meditate, but I find that I can't. Or I used to be able to do it really easily, and now I can't do it for some reason. And so that's one of the things that we kind of can look at and coach you with, give you some pointers, help you out there. So I will leave that with you. Anyway, so Lara, I feel like overall you do have some changes coming in for you, but Saturday to Thursday is a very short amount of time to be kind of looking at with the big changes. Sometimes big changes do happen very quickly, I'm sure you know, but sometimes it's a slow moving energy. So for you here the next few days, it seems like we've got a few things happening. There was nothing there that jumped out and said this is definitely it. It's definitely more of a social energy with you, my darling, and it definitely seems to be focusing in on that soulmate and twin flame energy. Might actually, while we're here, let's have a look at the twin flame energy for people, because that's something I haven't taken a look at for a while. Yeah, look straight away. The Lovers. Now, it's really interesting. There are some cards in the tarot which are definitely twin flame energy, twin flame in nature. You know, they have multiple meanings, but there are some cards that just jump out as being particularly twin flame. The Lovers, interestingly, is more of a karmic partner. They're more of a life partner. They are like a pure love energy. Because the Lovers is somebody that you are meant to be with, you're destined to be with, and somebody that you're going to be with for a very long time. So the Lovers tends to represent people that are going to be living together, or going to be getting married, or they have some other type of commitments, but the commitment sort of transcends anything that could be earthbound. So in a way, this is someone that you will be growing karmically with, or there may be some reason why you've opted to be with this person. But it's a very nice, very loving, genuine connection. The Lovers is something that I feel the last couple of years has been really undervalued and, gone down in people's estimation, because twin flame was the thing that everybody was talking about. And the twin flame energy, when you first feel it, is very much the opposite of what you would experience with the Lovers. So it's really interesting that that's come out like that, because the Lovers is all about divine feminine and divine masculine uniting together. What we've seen recently with the twin flame connections is that after the initial recognition of one another, what happens is you go into your separation phases. And separation can be distance, doesn't have to be you're not speaking with one another. It can be just that you're in different countries or different cities or something like that. What we see here is the divine feminine is starting to heal and be perfectly content with herself, with her situation. And this is great. This is where you want to be. The divine feminine needs to kind of release herself from the idea she has to be with her twin, because this is a thing that we see over and over and over again. The feminine energy tends to be the one that says, hey, I need to be with my twin. I need to have them in my life. And the divine masculine tends to be the energy that says, I don't need this. This isn't for me. I want to be away from this. This is too much. It's too intense. It's too this, it's too that. So the divine feminine needs to learn to kind of stand up for herself, be her own person, be okay with being on her own. And this is where the healing starts to happen around the connection. There's a lot of kind of, right, well, that's it. I don't want to have anything to do. There's a lot of kind of angst and perhaps some ill thoughts going back towards her twin there, or going back towards the divine masculine aspect. But as she starts to accept that maybe she is on her own, she's going to be doing this on her own, and she doesn't need to have her twin, and she's quite comfortable with who she is, what she represents, what she's all about, and she's pushing forward. And she's not doing it in a vengeful way. She's doing it in a calm way, in a very well-measured approach, in a very nice approach, very relaxed, very chilled. If her twin turned up, she'd be like, okay, there you are. She wouldn't be affected by them. And this is the point at which the healing takes place. So often when we look at after that separation phase, you may get a sort of check-in point where twins check in on the other person just to make sure they're still there. How are you feeling about me now? What's going on? What's going on? Whereas the female starts to, or the feminine energy starts to wake up to herself and to her power, and is very at ease with herself, that's when the masculine, she stops running, and the masculine energy kind of goes, oh, where are you going? Where are you going? Let me see what's going on with you. And then they can't find their feminine. So then they start to panic, and they start to experience what the feminine energy started to experience when she's being abandoned by the masculine energy. So it is a sort of back and forth roller coaster, but essentially what needs to happen is each part of the twin flame, each half of that twin flame energy need to come into their own self. They need to be individual. They need to stand up for themselves. They need to be fine without the other person. And then they can embark on the next part of the journey. So the other thing that we have coming out then is confusion. Don't know what to do now. What do I do? What direction should I go in? It's like the pathway is cleared. And this is what happens very often when the path in front of you is empty. Spirit, the universe will often say, it's all right, it's your time now. You can choose what you want to do. Here you go, here's the big wide world. It's up to you what happens next. And it's a very intimidating, very daunting, and very confusing time for people, because where we may have been used to having everything all mapped out for us, now all of a sudden we can kind of go, oh, I don't know, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? And it's a sort of a spiritual awakening, and it can be quite confusing, but the only person that can answer this ultimately is the individual, because it is for you, it is your free will, it's your choice what you do next, how you do it. And we've got the universe stepping back a little bit here and saying, let's see how you go. It's like you're learning to ride the bike. They've let go of the bike and they're seeing how far you can go without them. So as part of that awakening and ascension, it's like you've had the awakening, now it's the ascension. You're growing, you're maturing. And then 10 of Cups energy. So we do have a happy outcome. We do have the happy energy coming on in. But what we have with that is that there's no attachment. There's no expectation around that happiness. The happiness is something that you're learning to find without any kind of, happiness only looks like this. You're starting to figure out here, you can choose to be happy. Happiness is a choice. If you wake up in the morning, it might not be, it might not be the perfect morning. It might not be exactly how you want things in life to be, but you still choose, you still say to yourself, I feel happy, I feel good. And once you start doing that, once you start kind of realizing it's not about what you have or don't have, or what you've got coming up, or what's going on here, or what's going on there. What it's all about is you and your choices. And that's when you can really embrace the real you, the real life. So I will leave that with you. There's a little bit of twin flame insight there. Next up on the text, we have buttons. Let's see what we've got going on for buttons here. So may I have a reading for the rest of September? Let's see what we've got. That one wanted to come out. Oh, we've got some pop outs here. So the first one that popped out here is actually the High Priestess. Now, this is a signal here. You want to trust yourself. You want to listen to your intuition. The High Priestess, she is kind of secretive though. She is a little, so some things might not be obvious just now. You want to keep some things to yourself, or there may well be someone you're dealing with, they're being a bit quiet. You know, they're being a bit quiet. The High Priestess with you at the moment, I feel like it's all of these things. It's not just one thing. There's a lot happening here. There's quite a busy energy around you. The other thing that I need to say with this is we want to look at Scorpio season. So if you are dealing with a Scorpio, that's what we're talking about, but it's everything else that goes with that. The quiets, the intuition, the not really saying but expecting you to know. That's something Scorpios are quite good at. You know, they expect everybody to know or to behave the way that they would. We do have quite a natural intuition. They're naturally very intuitive energy or sign. However, they kind of think everybody is like them. So if you're asking them, what are you upset about? They get angry with you because they expect you already should know. They kind of, you know, you have to be able to be a mind reader, know what they're thinking and how they're feeling when you're dealing with a Scorpio. What we do have as well, we've got the Page of Wands. This one popped out for you. This is communication. It's from a trustworthy source. Can't speak. A trustworthy source. So somebody could be, would say, yeah, it's quite a loyal friend. It's a friend energy that's reaching out here, but it's somebody, they mean well, you know them, you trust them, you can believe them, you can rely on this person. Sometimes it can be somebody younger, so sometimes it does represent a child, but it can be someone who's just a little bit kind of, I feel like here, quite excited. I would say excitable, but they're optimistic, they're fun, like they always look on the good side of life. They're very kind of positive. So that's the person you want to be. See, you've got the Lovers as well. I feel like people are going to get this. If you have been involved in any sort of twin flame connection or any kind of romantic connection, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the last 4 years, and it didn't quite pan out, you're going to get this card come up. Next year, I feel like 2025 for a lot of people is going to be, I mean, yeah, soulmate energy. So if you haven't met your soulmate just yet, get ready. They're coming in. Everything that you've done over the last few months or maybe the last couple of years is to prepare you to meet your soulmates. Now, some people, I feel like they've had very on, off again situationships with their soulmates because for whatever reason, the timing wasn't quite right. You've got to be ready for your soulmate. You've got to be the best version of yourself. And I think what happens is oftentimes people kind of think that they can't really be this perfect person, like that their soulmate is going to fix them, or their soulmate is going to turn them into this perfect version of themselves. But it's actually the other way around. When you are the best version of yourself that you can be, that is when your twin or your soulmate comes along. That's what happens. So you do have that energy there here for you. If you've been dealing with someone a bit on and off, I feel like they're coming up here for you in September. So you've got the confused energy. It's like it's all coming out. It's all coming out. There's confusion, but I think you already are going to do. We do have the High Priest. So you've got a matching pair. You've got the High Priestess and the High Priest. It's also called the Hierophant. Now that is that number 5 number. It's long-term energy, it's spiritual lessons. So you're getting the information, you're getting the knowledge, everything that you need to know, you already have it. You already have it. The only reason, if you're hesitating, because I can feel like there's doubt there, that's your ego jumping in there, trying to stop you from getting hurt in some way. Could be an emotional hurt, could be, because the ego is it's not a bad thing to be in necessarily when you're in your ego, because the ego is trying to help us. The ego knows what's going on. It sees the higher self communicating with us, and it says, oh, whoa, I don't like that. That's not going to be nice to deal with. Or I can see how that person's going to hurt me or upset me, and I'm going to jump on in here and I'm going to stop myself from feeling bad. Because sometimes, if you've got to admit wrongdoing as well, that can make us feel bad. We might have some guilt, or it might be, we just might be feeling like, oh, I can't believe, I know I upset that person, and I'm going to insist that I was right here. I'm going to insist that this is why I was right and that's why they were wrong. When you brush over what you've done to somebody else, it's because your ego is jumping on in there to make sure you don't feel guilty, you don't feel bad about it. So if someone says, hey, when you said this or when you did that, that hurt me, that upset me, because that meant you didn't really care about me, or whatever it might be, rather than say, no. What you want to do is say, well, I'm really sorry about that. That's not what I intended to do. And it's like, those words are like the magical words. It relieves so much tension and stress and worry. It releases the guilt as well. The last thing you want is the guilt, because the guilt is karmic. It creates a karmic tie to somebody. You might feel the tie, but they won't. So you will be drawn to somebody constantly because you feel like you owe them, and they'll just be saying, yeah, it's all right. They won't have the same tie. It will be a one-way tie. So that's the last thing you want. So you always want to make sure that you're mature enough, you're grown up enough, and you're strong enough to be able to put your hand up and say, I'm very sorry, that's not what I meant to do. Or I'm very sorry, I didn't realize that that's how you felt. We just talk, communicate about it. Anyway, I feel like we're going on to some very deep philosophical topics this evening. I feel like it's the energy everybody wants to know. I would say here as well with your buttons, I want to look at the moon cycle. The moon cycle. That's going to be very important. So the full moon is what was coming to my attention now. I did just quickly see your text message that you put across there. I'm just looking at when the next the full moon is. Oh my goodness. Oh dear, I don't know why it's not looking right. Full moon September. It is on the 17th. Did I get that right there? Yeah, September the 17th, and it is called the harvest moon. Sometimes these moons have multiple names. So we've got harvest moon. It's the full moon that happens nearest to the equinox in the autumn. So that's why it's going to be important, because it's like a big signpost in terms of the annual timing. So we need to just kind of put that there. Buttons, let me get you some more cards out here to see what else they're pointing at. I feel like you're getting quite a channeled message this evening. Yeah, so you've got Two of Cups energy. Now, the Two of Cups, this is probably going to be around the person you just mentioned there. The Two of Cups is that's one of the twin flame cards, because it's like a kapow. It's a past life person that's coming up. You're recognizing this person. You're recognizing there's a spiritual connection with this person. It's attraction. It's like pure, unadulterated attraction to another person. It's not always explainable. It doesn't always make sense on paper why you feel so strongly, about that person that we're talking about here. When you look at the cards, what's happening is this is a wedding. This is a 3D or pagan hand fasting ceremony. So it means in this particular lifetime, these two people are choosing to be connected to one another. So you're creating quite literally a link with that hand fasting to the other person. But as you move into a different lifetime or different kind of phase of existence, and that could literally look like when you were 20 to 25, you felt like this. When you're 30 to 40, you felt like this. So it could literally be like that. When you're in your different stages of life, your different eras, then you kind of experience the world differently. So you have different needs and wants. And so the hand fasting is quite an interesting ritual. For anyone who doesn't know, when you have a hand fasting ceremony, you agree to be with that person for 12 months to see how it goes. During that 12 months, if you decide it's not working and you want to go your separate ways, then you can do. No questions asked, no blame. It's just we recognize that it takes time for people to figure out if they're meant for one another, if they can get along, if they're, X, Y, Z. And so you have 12 months. At the end of the 12 months, you then choose whether to commit fully to the other person forever and a day, or whether you kind of say, it's not for me. So that's what's quite unique about the hand fasting ritual. It's also why it's represented in the Two of Cups, because the Two of Cups is an energy that's like, it can transform into something else. It can turn into that soulmate, that lover's energy, that lover's card. But it's a temporary energy. It's an energy that may fizzle out because it has a lifespan, and the lifespan it gives you is this sort of 12 months here. What we can see with you, we've got travel, we've got waiting. Everybody's kind of watching and waiting to see what the other one's doing. So this is quite often a twin flame card. It tends to come out when there's separation from your twin or from your person, because sometimes soulmates can be separate. Twin flame is quite unique. It's very special because it's so unique, but it doesn't mean that soulmates is any less than. Soulmates, in fact, might be a little bit more solid, or they could be more solid in many regards, because twin flames at one point, or at some point, one could decide, I don't want to be a twin anymore, I want to be an individual, and they kind of push and be argumentative, and they try to get away from that whole situation any way they can, because they literally feel like they're trapped in it. Whereas with soulmates, they're actively choosing every single moment with every single fiber of their being to be with the person that they are with. So twin flames that are destined to be together, or because sometimes twins do decide, hey, in this lifetime, but let's go for it, let's be together in this lifetime. So those types of relationships, they're very easy, they're very smooth, they tend to sort of grow up very close by one another. They could be neighbors, they could go to the same school together, they will get together quite early in life as well, and then they will be together forever and a day, and they'll never look at anybody else. They won't have ever been with anybody else. So these are the sort of childhood sweethearts that end up growing old together. Soulmates can do that as well. Soulmates as well very often will sort of set out a plan of how they're going to unite, how they're going to come together. What life experience would they like to have before they meet? But soulmates tend to sort of gravitate towards the same thing. Sometimes twins can be very opposite. So that's why the relationship can be quite tense at times. What else have we got then? We do have the Six of Pentacles. So this is a good one. This is improvements coming on through here. Could be a helping hand, somebody offering some assistance towards you, towards what it is that you're looking to achieve. Somebody's kind of stepping in here and giving you a helping hand. Sometimes it is the universe, but I would say as well, this is Six of Pentacles energy. So if you're asking around work as well, this is a really excellent work card. Kind of points that there's more, there's an abundance coming your way. Sometimes it's a little bit of an increase, a little bit of an improvement, not a major one, but it's exactly where it needs to be. And it's really nice to see that coming in there. Next, keeping an eye on the time. Yeah, we do have the Hermit here. We do have Virgo. Now the Hermit is that quiet energy. It's figuring things out, maybe not wanting to share just yet. I'm just realizing here you did have the High Priestess, which again is another not really talking, keeping it quiet. So there may be some communication, but it's not open, it's not smooth and easy flowing. It's very contrived and holding back a lot of what it is that they would really like to, or what it is you want to be hearing, or what you're expecting to be hearing. So buttons, I'm going to leave that there for you, my darling. Let's see. Yeah, so at the moment we have Zodiac available. We've got Peony, Diana, Emma Rose, Rosalie, Jeannie and Julie. Now let me tell you, it's very exciting because my lovely Mystical Mags is back on the show. She is going to be here bright and early tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. I love Mags. She's absolutely adorable. She's so calming and soothing. You know, she's got one of those voices. I could just listen to her for ages. I'll just let her talk. Psychic Alan is going to be here from 10 tomorrow morning. We've got Jules, Richard Oliver, Alison W, Chloe and Nigel. And myself, I will be the featured psychic tomorrow. So what that means is I'm going to be on the phone lines from 3 p.m. right through till 10 p.m. I quite like doing featured psychic because I get to sit here in my PJs. Just know, if you talk to me when I'm the featured psychic, chances are I've got my comfy clothes on and I'm just kind of in here, sometimes not with all the lights on, just so that I can concentrate more and focus my attention on the questions and on the energy. So I do quite like working as featured psychic, because it means, because I don't have to worry about hosting as well at the same time. I can concentrate completely on doing the readings. So that's really, really nice from my point of view. Anyway, we're about to finish up on today's show here from Psychic Today. The phone lines are open throughout the evening. So if you have a question, maybe you can't sleep and you want a bit of Reiki, do feel free to call on through, because we are here for that sort of thing. Of course, we are international as well. So you could be in a part of the world where it's wake up time or mid-afternoon. So do feel free to call on through. I will be back tomorrow on the phone lines. So if I don't see you then, I'll see you on Sunday, because I'll be back around on Sunday as well. It's a busy time for me.